it's dorkii here, and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing another Dorkii Doodlers Academy because we haven't done it in a while. We haven't done an episode in a while, and I figured because I wanted to get a little video out today, I thought, why not bring back some Dorkii Doodler Academy videos? And yeah, why not? So if you guys have read the title, you will know that it is a skin coloring tutorial because I think it'd be fun to try and teach a little bit about how the skin tones work, because there are lots of different skin tones, and when you're drawing and shading, it can be hard to pick colors for your drawing. So I'm gonna go for maybe two. I think I'm gonna do two examples. One is going to be a peach skin tone, and one is going to be a darker skin tone. Okay, so first what you want to do is you got to think about we're going to do the paler skin tone first. You first have to think about what kind of color you want to go for. If you want to go for more of a paler color, of course you would go closer up to the white part of your color scale. Most of the time you will find most skin colors they will have in the orange to red zone, because, well, obviously peach is a paler color of orange. So something that you do want to avoid is that sometimes your skin, if you move it too far up, it could look a bit yellow, which, I guess that could be true if you're it could be a skin tone if somebody's kind of green in the face and a little bit sick, but you want to avoid going too far down from orange or too far up with the color scale from orange. You want to kind of stay in this red and orange zone because it's going to be where your normal skin tones are. Hopefully I'm explaining that right. I don't know, it sounds good in my head, but I'm not really sure. But so this is going to be our skin color right here. And you also want to pick a blush color, because normally the younger your character is, the more rosy complexion it's going to have. So usually you just want to kind of take your skin tone, color pick it, and then go maybe a little bit pinker, like that. And this would work good because you have a good palette that is sticking with. If you base all of your sort of skin palette on your main skin color, it's probably going to look a little better if you just randomly put colors down. You want to make sure that it's the same sort of tint. So now, if you want to color your lips, maybe you have some sort of lipstick. Usually if you want to go for more of a pinky red, go ahead. Ooh, no, we don't do that. Not that far. So you want it to be a little bit of a more saturated, darker tint, because once lipstick dries, it becomes a little more saturated for paler. So I'd say that would be a good lip color. And then for shading and highlights and all of that stuff on the skin, we will get to later. So now now that you have your main colors, you want to take these colors and you want to blotch them down. So obviously I am going to clean this up But what you want to do is you kind of just want to go over it with your skin tone. I like using more of like a paper looking brush, or not paper, paintbrush looking brush, because it kind of gives off a really cool effect, and I don't know, I just like it. So we're just gonna clean this up. If it goes out of the line set, it's okay. This isn't going to be perfect. We will clean it up after we have the main colors down. And now that we have finished that, make sure that you clean up any areas that kind of got out of line a little there. For the colors behind it, like this little neck area, shading, just go like just like a bit more down the color scale, both saturated and farther down on the orange scale. And then that gives you a relatively good skin color that isn't too dark for the lighter skin tone. It works. Okay. So now that we have done that, just make sure that any white areas that you need to be different colors, like white, for the parts of the eye, if you need to color that in, go right ahead. So we'll just paint these in really quick. There we go. And yeah, so now you can add in the little blue shitty blushes. So normally when I do the blush, I normally go for a little bit of a softer airbrushy tool. So you can use an airbrush tool, like a really light airbrush tool like that. That gives off a really good one. I like it. If you want to do like a kind of like opaque brush, but it's not super soft like that, and it's pretty easy to blend out. I like these two. This one is called a charcoal soft rock, and this one is a airbrush tool, obviously. So whatever one fits you, you can do whatever. I am going to do the airbrush tool for this one. So you kind of just like lay it down lightly, make sure it's kind of like, blush usually happens like closer to the cheekbones and obviously your regular cheek areas. So the cheekbones is the circular bone just below your eye. It kind of feels like a oval. So that's where your cheekbones are. So I also, including the blush on the cheeks, you could stop there if you want. But I also like to do slightly on the nose. I kind of think that gives it a cute little complexion. And if we really want to, if we want to make it extra, you can also do a bit on the ears, because your ears go red. That's because you're blushing. So if your character is blushing, then go ahead and give them some good ear blush. That sounds so weird. Don't judge me. This is how it works. But now, you can do your lip color. This is a perfect, I can fit this in as a small mini lip tutorial. If you guys want me to show you how like coloring lips. You know, if you guys want that, I will certainly make it as a little. But, this is me. Okay. So, I've kind of already colored it in here. It's okay. You kind of just, actually, I think it'd be better if I got rid of that, so it's easier to do. There we go. So, if you have this, you have a beautiful mouth right here. And you need to give it some lips. Go to your color palette, get the lip color that you selected. Kind of make like a little mountain on top, like that. Now, once you when you're doing the bottom lip, if you look at somebody who's wearing maybe like lipstick or maybe just like normal, the top lip is always going to be I guess it'd be easier to say the bottom lip is always going to be a little bit more opaque in color than the top lip. That's so if you want to maybe turn the opacity down a little bit on your brush, you kind of just go over it. I should probably do a little bit lighter, like that. Then go for it. You want to make sure that it's not like, unless you're giving them super plump lips, unless that's what you really want. Make it a little bit thinner, I guess, than the top lip. If the opacity is hard, by the way, just select a different color. A little bit farther down on the color scale. I'm having trouble with this. There we go. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Okay. So, if you want to make it nice and shiny, because lips have highlights, obviously, you can kind of just like, I usually add like something like that, the little highlight dot, and then I make my brush super small, and kind of do. Little areas on the lips, like so. Kind of like where the highlights is kind of like the wrinkles, I guess. That sounds so bad. Okay, I'm just gonna stop now. Let's end the video. Okay. In all seriousness, though, that's the how you do the lips. Make sure that the highlights is kind of where you're directing the light. So if the light is hitting here, bigger brush here, and here, then where the highlights are going to go is right over there. So now, you can do shading. And supplies for any kind of shading. You can do this for a darker skin tone or a lighter skin tone. It always works for me, at least. So, have a new layer underneath the inking layer, but above the coloring layer. That's very important. Lower the opacity down between the 70s and 90s. I like to do around like 85 or 84, I guess that works too. And then go to multiply. Select a color for normal or warmer colors. I usually do a little bit of a darker skin tone. It's not a skin tone. Shading. Okay. Shading, I usually go for a shading more of the cooler colors. If it's a cooler color, I do the opposite. And I do more of a warmy, pinky color. Usually I stick between the pink, purples, and blues. Those are my ideal shading. So if the light is coming from over here, you want to have most of your shading going that way. So, but basically multiply is where it does it multiplies the colors to fit as it basically overlays the color that you're on. So even if I go even if I go over it with any color, if I go over it with any color, it will still have the kind of tint of the color that you selected, the shading color. That's how it is. Go. That's very good. opacity, if it's looking a little bit too vibrant, go ahead and turn the opacity down a little bit more, because, you know, you don't want it to be too vibrant. It's shading. It's not supposed to really stand out. And then if you want to do highlights, go here, lower your opacity, go to addition. You can use the same color, it's still going to work. And then just, you know, airbrush tool. Airbrush tool is really good. And then just kind of like very, very lightly add the highlights where the, obviously where the light is coming from. And that is the paler skin tutorial. Or how we do the paler skin, I should say. And now, get rid of all that, and we're gonna do a darker skin tone now. I know it's getting a little long, but stay with me on this one. I promise. We're gonna get through this. So, you have your inking layer. So now you want to select some colors. So normally, a lot of the skin tones will revolve around that orange area, because if you go a little bit darker, so if you want a darker, deeper complexion than your peach color, then just move it down a little bit and test them out. You know, test them out. If you want a darker, like a super, super dark, then go right around here. But that would be more of a hair if you wanted to do this deeper skin tone and a darker, more deep brown hair with it, and that would also be a good color. It doesn't really matter, it's all up to you. If you want to do like a pink hair, that's cool too. Do whatever you want. So now you want to do blush, because of course, even you gotta just do a little bit more of a deeper, more saturated pink, and that could kind of serve as a good blush point. So go to your skin tone, color swatch it, go down a bit to the more red and pink area, maybe like desaturate it a bit, make it a little more pink, and there you go. And normally with the lip colors for people who have more of a darker complexion, they will have a deeper and a little more red lip, like so. And those can be your colors. So now we're gonna start coloring. So just do the same thing that we did for the paler color. Alright, that's a little better. If you want to use there we go. So that, just make it a little more darker and saturated for the shadow areas that you kind of want to block down real quick. That would be, and then of course, light around the eyes. And it's already starting to look pretty good with the super cool looking skin colors and whatnot. But you can make this even better with the blush that we picked out. So if you want to make your OC or your character or your whoever you're drawing blushing, then that's what you gotta do. You kind of just follow the same steps with the paler skin tone that we just did, except of course this blush is a little bit deeper than the blush that we use for a pale. So of course, I'm gonna select my handy airbrush tool and lay it down nice and kind of opaque. If you want to go hardcore, then, then lay on that blush. But if you aren't, no need to worry. No. And then, just like that, there you go. You have your blush. And then, of course, now it's time to do the lips. We'll basically just do the same thing. Gotta remember that the little mountain and all of the bottom lips of your drawings or of people will normally have the top lip will be darker than the bottom lip. The bottom lip will be more opaque. Then color. And that, my friends, is how you do your darker colors. And now, shading. So I'm gonna go for more of a purpley pink. I think we should mix it up a bit. Lower the opacity, multiply underneath the inking layer, but on top of the coloring layer. And then start placing them down. And just like that, we have our shading. And then you can do your highlights. So airbrush, lightly do the highlights. Very nice and light and opaque. And just like that, you have your darker skin tone. So that is how I do my skin coloring. I hope this helped to some extent. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask in the comments or stick around in this premiere. I will be happy to answer them if I didn't explain something clearly or just didn't, I just didn't do it right. And if you have any ideas for a future Dorky Doodlers Academy video, feel free to suggest it, and I will gladly look into it. And yeah, so that's going to be the end of it for now. I'm going to be buzzing off. I'll see you guys later. Bye!